Blanky time, Blanky time. It's almost time for Blanky time. Come along and take our hands. We're going to Blanky land.
Welcome to Blanky Time. Today, I have a very special person doing the podcast with me today. It's not Matt, unfortunately, though he is a very special person, and it is my wife, my wife, Sarah LaPiker.
I'm here today. Just found out about this yesterday.
You didn't find out about it yesterday.
Yes, I did.
No.
As I do many things in our life.
No, we talked about this
I thought you were joking.
Well, so I said it. That doesn't mean I was joking.
You should have clarified, but okay.
Anyways,
Here I am.
As you can see, we are in a new location. This is because we are at an undisclosed coastal location filming this. But by the time it comes out, we'll be back home.
It has to be undisclosed, so people can't find you.
Well, that's what Matt said when he went to this area.
Okay.
So he said undisclosed.
You don't want people to show up and spoil it, right?
Yeah, show up in this general area and mess up the vibes.
I get it. There are peak vibes here. Can't have people coming and mess those up.
I can't have people coming and messing up those vibes. This place has some good vibes. It's got a health store we went to. It's got
the fresh booch.
It got nice booch.
On tap.
On tap booch. You know, it's fancy when the booch is on tap. Anyways, we are loosely today going to talk about childhood memories.
I don't know how we're going to do that because Stone has no memories.
Exactly.
So.
This is why this is fun. This is the good compare and contrast because when it comes to the Venn diagram of how my memory works versus your memory, I don't know if it's a Venn diagram per se.
It's a poor metaphor.
Let's just
say existent and non-existent. There is no comparison, you know.
Yeah, so I've talked about how my memory is like Jell-O, and basically to expound on that, the way my memories work is anything that is related either by people, an area, or a activity. All my memories tend to get mashed together, and it's like swimming through a blob of Jell-O and cloudy with a chance of meatballs and trying to find the memories and isolate them. And sometimes they're just all stuck together. There's a freaking fly in here. That's annoying. But anywho, Sarah's the complete opposite of that. She's got some poignant...
I got the memory of an elephant.
Memory of an elephant.
Indeed.
Do you have the emotions of an elephant?
What kind of emotions do elephants feel?
I don't know. They seem pretty emo. They're just...
Elephants are emo.
Yeah, they're just crying about stuff all the time.
Well, it's a sad existence when people are just trying to kill you all the time.
Yeah, or their babies. The lions eat the babies, and then...
Well, that's just natural selection.
Yeah, and then it's the elephants are crying about it, and it's like, listen, Jack, you don't think there's other baby animals dying, and the moms don't care all that much.
They just have bigger brains. They feel bigger.
They got big brain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when it comes to memories, at least my childhood, I spent a crap ton of reset. I spent a crap ton of time outside, just because if we were bored, or even if we spent too much time outside, we still played outside.
Let's be honest, it's because your mom didn't want you inside bothering her.
Well, I don't know. She was always outside too a lot on the veranda. We had I told you about?
But you were far away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was out in the woods or something. Running around in the woods with my neighbor Wesley.
Does your mom listen to the pod?
Yeah.
Can you edit that out?
No. She knows.
She's like,
that's how
get these
it is.
kids out of here.
No, she used to spend a lot of time on the veranda, I think. Do you know what a veranda is?
Yes, I know what a veranda is.
Have I told you about the veranda?
Refresh me. Why not? This is all about memory.
This is all about
Tell me about
memories.
your veranda.
So, at the house that I basically grew up in, from ages 5, 6 years old, all the way up to 15, 14, 15. You know that time.
Oh, yes, it was 15 or
15.
16, I think.
Yeah, so I was like 15. We lived in this big old house that was like ranch style, so it was just long and flat. And on one of the back sides, it had a veranda, which is different than a porch, because I think the only distinguishing thing is that a veranda is made out of concrete, because it was a concrete slab, and then underneath it was a bricked-in room that like had the water pressure tank, and like Dad kept his like asphalt paving stuff in there. Like it smelled like asphalt in there, and like I would go under there and like hide, and it would smell like asphalt.
I think veranda, just people say veranda because it sounds fancy. It's fancier than patio.
But it was covered. It wasn't a
Patios
patio.
can be covered.
Because we had a patio that like stepped down from the yard. Had a fire pit. But out on the veranda, like I used to when I was a kid, I always heard that cats landed on their feet.
I'm sure you were throwing animals
And-
off the
and
veranda.
so-
That does not surprise me.
We had a cat named Harley, and I would used to like just throw him off to see him land on his feet.
You know that's like one of the traits of serial killers is like torturing small animals.
I mean, was it torture if they didn't get hurt?
He was emotionally tortured, I'm sure.
Well, we did something to him that probably
He's like, oh my God,
tortured.
Stone is coming. He's going to throw me off this porch.
Well, there was something
That
me
poor
and Sky did to that cat that was probably worse than tossing him off a porch.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Do you want to guess what it was?
No.
Just guess.
I don't know.
It was harmless but emotionally damaging.
You
to
painted
the
his
cat.
toenails. You held him
Close.
down and painted his toenails.
You're kind of
Put
on the right
makeup
track.
on the cat.
We dyed him with Kool-Aid in the shower.
Why did your parents let you do that?
It was Sky's idea.
I'm sure. Of course it was.
Sky's my older sister. I don't know if we've talked about her. Spelled with an E, because that's cool to do, I guess. But we got red Kool-Aid and grabbed the cat and took him into the shower and just kind of like covered him in red Kool-Aid. But he ended up pink because it watered down.
I bet that was cute though.
Well, also, the other reason we did it was at the time we thought that he was a girl.
Nice.
And so we were like, let's dye him pink because he's a girl.
That is not very forward thinking of you. How dare you?
We dyed him pink in the tub.
What if he was a girl cat that liked blue, but then he actually turned out to be a boy cat that liked pink?
Listen, cats don't think about these things.
You don't know that.
Well, at the time I knew that as a fact, and so yeah, we dyed him pink, and he'd just run around and you see him and he's pink. So what kind of shenanigans? Because you have 3 brothers, which one of them he's still a little baby child, or practically.
Is 12 a baby child?
Well, when you were a kid, he definitely was.
Oh yeah.
So your older 2 brothers who are how many?
21 and 18.
Well, how close to that is you?
Oh, we're all 3 years apart, or 2.5 years apart.
2.5 years apart. So what kind of like shenanigans, like a cat dying or something along those lines?
Well, we definitely didn't torture small animals. We did play outside a lot. Most of it was like hide and seek in our neighborhood. So we played with all the neighbor kids. There's a kid named Pootie in our neighborhood.
Pootie?
Pootie.
Was that his actual name?
No, his mom just called him that, but that was his nickname.
Because did he fart a lot? Did he poop
I
a
don't
lot?
know. I don't no idea where the
Pootie's
name came
farting
from, but there's Pootie. Pootie had this little chihuahua, A lot like Sawyer. It's kind of gross and scary.
He's nasty.
You just stayed away from Pootie's house because you knew
The Chihuahua's there.
The Chihuahua was there. But
Pootie's pooting with his nasty Chihuahua in the corner.
man, we had my favorite thing about our old house was we had a swimming pool, one of those like Walmart inflatable pools in the back, but you could make a whirlpool out of it if you walked fast enough in a circle.
Is that why you keep asking to get one?
Yeah,
Is because you just want
it's for the nostalgia.
the nostalgia.
Yeah. I remember Ben knocked my tooth out one time in that pool, though.
In the pool?
Yep, he whacked me in the face, and I lost it, and I couldn't even use it to give to the tooth fairy because I couldn't find it in the pool.
What did they whack you in the face with?
I think he, like, elbowed me or something. He's always hitting me in the face.
What were y'all doing?
I think we were playing. He didn't do it on purpose.
He didn't do it on purpose.
No.
It also, on the lines of Ben hitting people in the face with things,
On accident.
he almost skewered the doof out of my eyeball one time. He yeeted a stick at me, and it hit my eyeball so hard that my legs gave out, and I got instantly nauseous and couldn't stand up. Like I was wallowing in the dirt.
He broke my nose with a stick one time, so he doesn't have a good track record.
Are you sure it was broke?
Yeah, that's why my nose isn't straight anymore. It's got a little bump on it.
It's got a little bump. But
Yeah.
You bump?
It was awful.
You
I was so mad at him. I was like, you ruined my nose.
Why did he hit you with the stick?
It was an accident. We were playing like stick sword fight, and the piece of the stick broke off and flew and hit me in the face. Yeah.
Oh, like if you like breaking firewood,
Mm-hmm.
like smacking it against a tree, and
Yeah, and it flew back and hit me in the face.
that's fun.
It was rough. Yeah. But I threw a Lego at him one time. He still has a scar on his face.
From a Lego?
Yeah, it was like one of the big, like...
Oh, the big like Duplo.
Yeah.
We come from the planet Duplo. We're going to kill you, or whatever the...
I think we're even now, so...
I don't know. A Lego block and breaking your nose doesn't seem to quite add up.
I
all the
guess
way.
so. I'll let it slide for now. But, yeah. So, we played hide and seek in the neighborhood, and... We worked a lot. My dad made us work a lot on the farm outside. So we spent...
Because that's why you have kids, folks. So you make them work.
It was fun, though. I mean, we would kind of do our work, and then we'd end up just seeing how deep we could dig a hole. And the best part was when you hit water, because it was so hot that, like, when you finally hit water, I was like, oh, this is so nice. And you just sit in the mud hole.
Sit in the mud.
Uh-huh. It was great.
Didn't you have like a pro strat when it, because like y'all had like a certain amount of time you had to do?
So that was later when I was a teenager. It was either you work a certain number of hours for dad or you go get a job. And so one summer I was like, oh, I'll just work for dad. It's 20 hours a week. You know, that's not that bad. But I really hate being sweaty, and North Carolina summertime is no good.
Dog nation.
So I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do all my work and work till 5 or 6 or till the sun came up. And then I would go back to bed because I did not want to be hot and I like to sleep. And so that's what I did. And I always thought Ben was an idiot because he would be getting up as I was going back to bed to do his work. I'm like, bro, you're going to be hot.
Ben likes to
And
make things
sticky.
harder for himself sometimes.
He does do that, yeah. He can't help it.
So do you got any other shenanigans? Or was it mainly just hide and seek? Like every day we went out and played hide and seek.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of what we did.
That's about it. Like,
I don't know. I wouldn't describe them as shenanigans. We just play.
Yeah, me and
We were not the shenanigan type. You know, my dad does not allow for shenanigans.
I mean, dyeing the cat pink isn't necessarily shenanigans per se.
Okay.
When your mom encourages the activity.
You didn't tell me she encouraged the activity.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, she thought it was a cool idea. Do you remember there was those magazines called like Family Fun?
I don't know.
Did you ever get those?
I got the Highlights magazines.
Family Fun magazines were like peak homeschooler magazines that basically
Well, I
like
wasn't homeschooled, so.
well, all the homeschooled kids had them, but the Family Fun magazines basically like were these magazines that gave you activities and arts and crafts to do.
And one of them was to dye the family pet.
No. There was probably something in there about dyeing things with Kool-Aid, and then it just escalated into dyeing the
As
cat.
things do in the Kiker household.
But the
things just escalate.
I just unlocked like a core memory about Family Fun books. It was basically like books that gave families that homeschooled their kids like social things to do in the family to try to not make them end up be like super homeschooled.
Does that work though if it's just with your family?
Probably not.
That
It
doesn't
just
count.
Exacerbated.
Yeah.
The problem.
I feel like that just makes it worse.
Homeschool induced autism. Pretty much.
It's just like it doesn't count if it's with people you live with.
Yeah. Did y'all like play out in the woods a lot? Any?
When we lived at the Boondocks, we did, yeah. Because, I mean,
Boondocks.
it was only woods. Now it's not. It's really sad, but,
I mean, there's still a lot of woods.
yeah. I mean, we would walk to the creek all the time and play in the creek and walk back there and play hide and seek. I was the best at hide and seek. We had friends come over, and no one could ever find me, so they just had to start the next round without me because they couldn't find me.
How were you hiding?
It would depend. I had spots inside and outside depending on the season. But this pro strat is to have one hiding spot per person that's it. So
to switch it up every time.
switch it up every time, and so that they don't know. They're like, oh, I know you were there last time, but it changes with each person who's it.
So what were like the spots like?
Either you go to the spots people are too scared to check, which
Too
was
scared to check. Like the ditch that's out there, the ravine.
no, this was
the
actually
washout?
inside. So like in the old house, there was like a really scary bathroom in the basement,
You would just be like hiding in the corner.
and I would hide in there because everybody was too scared to go in there.
Why were they afraid to go in the bathroom?
Because there was no light. There was no light in there, and it was just
There's no lights in
it
the
was
bathroom.
just dungy and creepy and like
Dungy?
broken toilet.
Dungeon and dingy mixed
Yeah.
together.
Dungy. I made a new word. Yeah, and everybody was too scared to go in there, so that worked really well.
I would always like when we played hide and seek, just climb into the very tippy top of a tree.
Oh,
And,
that's
like,
cheating.
It's not cheating if the tree's attached to the ground.
I probably wouldn't be very good at hide and seek during the day because I relied a lot on it being dark for my hiding spots. So sometimes I would just go lay out in the yard where it was dark.
Just like in the grass.
Yeah, you know, with a point at the end of in the front yard, it would be so dark there in the shadows that you could just lay there and nobody would see you. So I used to do that too.
Lurking in the shadows.
Yeah. Or you can hide on the back of the diving board. That worked. I probably wouldn't do that now because I'm petrified of the frogs. And so just like being close to the water, I feel like wouldn't end well. I'd end up having a froggy buddy and giving myself away.
Do you want to talk about how you came to your fear of frogs?
It's not really like a big story. It's just my brother used to throw them on me. We would be working out in the field, and you know the frogs and the rocks kind of all look the same because they're like those ugly brown toads, and so it looked like a clump of dirt. And
Yeah.
he would like kick it over at me or throw it at me or put it on my head or something like that. And so I'm terrified.
Did it ever pee on you?
It never stayed on me long enough to pee on me.
But yeah.
It's not the idea of it peeing on me that bothers me. I just don't like them.
Yes, Sarah, because of that, has what is it? A fear that's like,
irrational, is that what you're looking for?
irrational, petrifying fear of frogs.
Yeah. It's like debilitating. It
Yes,
makes
it
me cry every time like one comes near me.
It's crazy.
It's horrible. I can't even look at pictures.
No.
It's all Ben's fault. I remember the last time he did it, he found two toads. Put one on each shoulder. And I thought my dad was going to kill him. He, like, took him aside. He, like, took him by his ear.
Oh, he
Trigger warning.
pulled
Ben by
line.
his ear. And it was like, if you do that again, it was like a big...
I'm
and
gonna
so
make you eat one of them.
He never did it again. So that was good. I don't tell very many people that because I'm afraid they're going to use it against me. Like some of Elijah's friends, I can't remember who it was, but they like popped into my room one day with a bullfrog hanging on off a hook because they knew I was scared of him.
Recently?
No, it wasn't recently. It was
Oh.
when I still lived at home.
Oh, okay. I
But
was about to say, I was like,
no, I was so mad. So I don't tell a lot of people, cause especially my brother's idiot friends. So
I don't know if I have like a fear like that like makes me freak out. I don't know.
not that I'm aware of.
Maybe we just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe if I got in like a submarine or like a glass
like
box
the water.
and got dropped down deep in the water, I would probably have a panic
That's
attack.
not something you run into every day, though. So
Yeah,
that's probably pretty rational too.
pretty rational. I had a buddy when I was a kid who he loved catching toads and frogs, and it was the only thing he wanted to do when we came over.
That was Ben.
No. This is when I was like,
friend?
this is before I knew Ben.
Oh,
Surprisingly, Ben's like go-to thing with all his buddies, every time they came over to y'all's house, they would go frog gigging, right?
yeah.
And like
it was
stay
the
up night.
experience.
I was the one friend who we've never done that together.
Isn't that
ever.
crazy that you're like his best friend and married to his sister, and he never took you frog gigging?
Yeah. So speaking of memories, basically the way me and Sarah met was Ben became my best friend in high school, and then I found out he had a sister. No, we actually like weren't. Well, I wasn't interested in you necessarily for a while, and then I was, and then I broke the bro code, and
Here we are.
Married.
I'm on your podcast.
you're on my
At
podcast
the last minute.
having some sweet Blanky time in an undisclosed coastal location.
Too much.
Yeah, me and Sky used to play out in the woods a lot, and she would always do this thing, though, where when she was tired of playing in the woods with me, she would ditch me in the woods.
I remember these stories.
Or-
She'd just
or-
leave you.
She would leave me, or what she'd do is, like, say we're going to play hide and seek,
That is just devious.
and I would go hide.
I was never like that.
And she
to my
would run
brothers.
off and go back home, and I was all by myself
That's awful.
in the woods.
I would never do that to them. I was not mean like that. I was mean in other ways, but I wasn't mean. Wasn't nasty like that. That's just nasty.
It is nasty.
It's so mean. No, I think the worst thing my brothers can complain about is me just like pinning them down and tickling them to death.
God, yeah, that
Until they got bigger than me. Now I can't do that anymore.
my sister did that to me too, and I would like, cause I'm still pretty ticklish, but I would like. It's a weird feeling when you're laughing so much and you're hating what's happening that you start laugh crying at the same
You're
time.
right.
It's such a weird feeling, and it angers me to think about.
I used to trap Ben underneath a laundry basket.
Sit on the laundry
and
basket.
sit on top of the laundry basket. That's a bad feeling though, because he would do it to me too. But you would feel like you couldn't breathe because your knees were like up on your chest, and
But it's a laundry basket.
I know. But I always
It's got holes in it.
yeah. But it's not about the air. It's about like the compression of your
The tightness.
like you felt
Claustrophobia.
like your chest couldn't expand. That was always rough.
We used to play this game when I was a kid called Black Panther
Wow.
with Nevaeh when she was like a toddler. And for y'all who don't know, I have an adopted sister, and she's black. And she came up with the name of this when she was a toddler. Okay, so this wasn't me. And basically, Black Panther was, I was the hunter, and she was the Black Panther. and she would run around the house, and I would have a laundry basket and chase her down and just trap her in it, and then like pretend to like hog tie her and throw her on the
my
couch,
God.
and then be like, all right, I'm gonna go get the poachers that are gonna buy you. And
This is not PC.
again,
Canceled.
She came up with this whole idea. And
Okay, you say it was Nevaeh.
it was Nevaeh. And why are you doubting me?
I'm just joking.
And but yeah, it was fun. Chase.
She sounds like she would ask for something like that, just like she asked for the swirly.
She did ask for the swirly. This is also a childhood memory.
Did
of
you
mine.
talk about? I thought you already talked about this.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I've just
Yeah.
talked about it a lot within my family because it's so annoying. Because basically, Nevaeh asked me what a swirly was, or something along those lines. And I was like, it's where I put your head in the toilet and I flush it. And she was like, do it to me. And I was like, huh? I was like, you don't want me to do that to you. She's like, no, yes, I do. And I was like, so you're telling me you want me to give you a swirly? And she goes, yeah, give me a swirly. And so I picked her up, carried her into the bathroom, held her head near the toilet lid, and I was like, I'm about to stick your head in the toilet. Are you sure you want a swirly? She goes, yes. And I put her head in the toilet and flushed it. And then she...
It's all your fault.
Yeah. And then after I did that and gave her the swirly, I think she, like, ran and told mom or dad. And, like, I was still in the bathroom. And the toilet's still, like, flushing. And Dad comes down, and he was like, did you stick your sister's head in the toilet? And I was like, yeah, she told me to do it. And he was like, nah, I don't believe that. He just gaslit the crud out of me.
Oh, as he does.
Yes, and made it out like I did it against Nevaeh's will. And I got grounded for 3 months.
That's a long time for a swirly.
3 months?
I don't think
for-
I've ever been grounded for more than a month. Ever.
I think I got grounded for like half a year one time.
What did you do?
I don't know. There's so many. It's all
Oh my gosh.
mixed together.
All that's mixed together?
Yeah, it's all mixed
That's
together.
probably just as well that you don't remember.
I do remember the time I got grounded for 3 months. It was during my Skylanders phase. Do you know what Skylanders is?
No.
So Skylanders was the video game where you bought the figurines separate, and there was a portal that plugged into the console, and you would put the figurines on, and then they would and show up in the game, and you would play as them.
We weren't allowed to play video games, so
Well, you
that's
had-
why I didn't know what they were.
Well, it was a phenomenon when I was a
We
kid.
didn't have cable till I was 12, so
You went to stores, didn't you?
I don't remember seeing Skylanders anywhere.
Oh.
You'd have to show me, and I would be able to maybe make a connection there.
All right. Anyways, I was big into Skylanders, and the reason I specifically remember this is because Mom and Dad had bought me a new Skylander for my birthday, but it was before I got grounded and got all my video game stuff taken away and whatnot. So when I got ungrounded, my mom put all my stuff on my bed and put the Skylanders on my bed that they bought me for my birthday. And the funny thing was she did that like in the morning, and I had spent like all day like outside doing God knows what, probably playing in a hose or something. And at the very end of the day, I went back in my room and it was all set up, and I was like, new Skylanders. And like she like apparently thought it was funny. I didn't go in my room all day and find them in there.
3 months is a long time to be grounded.
Yeah.
I didn't even get grounded 3 months when I drove off the side of the driveway. It was 1 month. And the 1 month shortly turned into 2 weeks because I had my phone taken away for a month because I drove off the side of the road looking at my phone at my house. And so
Wait, that's why you drove off?
yeah, I was trying to call somebody. I was returning a phone call, so I was looking at my phone trying to dial the number.
I thought you just had bad steering.
No.
It just like ended up. This road she's talking about is basically like a small dam that you could fall off of. Like
Yeah.
the car got wedged in between trees on the side of the
Yeah.
ditch.
Thank God those trees are there then. They're not anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like trying to call somebody back who had called me, and I drove off the side of the road, and so my phone was being taken away for a month or something like that, and it didn't end up working because my parents figured out it was more convenient for me to have a phone, so that they could ask me to go pick my brothers up and stuff. So
You should have put it to the man and just been like, "This is the world you created.
right.
You might have to
I was like,
deal with
you
the
want your taxi
consequences."
driver? Your taxi driver needs her phone.
Sister Taxi Incorporated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like. Did y'all ever like play with Play-Doh?
We made our own Play-Doh, but my
Yeah.
grandma would buy us Play-Doh sometimes.
Make your own Play-Doh?
Yeah, it's just like water and cornstarch and something else. I don't know.
That's oobleck.
No, you could make your own Play-Doh too.
What?
Yeah. I can't remember what all's in it, but
So would you put color and stuff in it?
no, not usually.
It was just, what was the color?
It was
of
white.
It was white Play-Doh?
Mhm.
How have I not heard about making your own Play-Doh?
I don't know. Homeschooler, how do you not know how to make your own Play-Doh?
I'm trying to think of what the things we made. Oh, I played a lot of Connects when I was a kid. You know what Connects are?
I know what they are. We had Lincoln Logs and Legos.
I had Lincoln Logs. Lincoln Logs were exclusively at Nana's house. And when I would go over to Nana's is when we got that Lincoln Log action.
Ben loved Lincoln Logs, so we always got those. And then my dad had all his Legos from when he was a kid. It was like a whole Tupperware bin full of
Tupperware?
Tupperware.
Tupperware?
Tupperware.
That is one of the my biggest regrets as a kid was I had like the big tote tubs full of Legos and Bionicles pieces, and I sold them because we were moving, and in my mind I was like, when we move and get a new house, I'll buy more, and then we never ended up in a new house. And we just lived in trailers.
Still not in a new house.
And yeah,
So funny.
I never got Legos again. And yeah, that was my biggest regret was selling all my Legos. It was a sad day.
I was about to say either you could sold them for a lot more now, or you could have hung on to them.
I know. I probably freaking that lady got a steal. I'll tell you that. I didn't know what Legos were worth back then.
Well, you were 14, so it's fine.
Yeah.
No, we had lots of Legos. We had, the sets. Dad just had a bunch of random pieces, so you could build whatever you wanted. They weren't like the sets that they have now. It was just like they had a moon set. It was like a little square, so it looked like you were on the moon, so you could build like a space station and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Did y'all ever get like the sets? Like what were the sets? Because I know what like the main sets were when I was a kid. Did you ever?
Ben and Elijah usually got sets like Star Wars ships and stuff. Okay. It was mostly Star Wars or Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings sets were still out then. And then like right after that was Lego Ninjago and the mining ones. You remember the mining ones?
No. I'm serious. They basically just got Star Wars.
Only Star Wars exclusively?
Mm-hmm. Then before they got super expensive. I feel like they've gotten more and more expensive.
I feel like
you can only get the like teeny tiny little boxes now that are like this big.
Yeah.
Like a
and
4x4.
It's still like $15.
Yeah. I was like,
dude.
This is dumb.
I feel like it was after the recession. Like I feel like before the recession, like Legos were like $20 would get you a nice set.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a $20 set would give you like the whole like Clone Wars ship. And then after the recession, that became $50.
Yeah. I always just liked building the stuff. I didn't like to play with it, so I would just take my brother's sets, take them apart, and then rebuild them and then give them back.
In the middle of the night, so they would never know. You would be lurking in the
the
dungy bathroom, building a Lego set.
I didn't go down there for anything else except for hide and seek. That It was just such a strange the Boondocks was such a strange place because there were just rooms you did not go in there.
Why?
You just didn't because it was weird and creepy and there was no reason to be in there. So like that bathroom, and then there was a bedroom downstairs you didn't go in really unless, and then for a long time you didn't go in Grandpa Gil's room, which was upstairs, till my parents finally cleaned it out. But you just didn't go in there. And that's how it was.
The Forbidden Lands. I'm trying to remember my Grand's parents' homes. My mom's grandparents' home is still the same.
I love their house. It's so cute. If they just like cleaned it out
Yeah,
and redid it, it would be awesome.
It's a little dungy.
Dungy, yeah. It's a little more than dungy.
But it's a cute little farmhouse up in the Smoky Mountains. But my dad's parents, they have lived in a couple different houses, and the one that they lived at, like when I in this like peak childhood time that I'm talking about, was like a log cabin house. I don't remember where. Like, I couldn't point to a map and tell you where it was at. I just remember it was probably like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive away. But it was cool because it was like flat log cabin house, and then it kind of shelved out, so there was a garage, so you could go from the garage up into the house, and then it was level. And then there's a big hill off the back that went down to a pond that Pop dug out and made like a man-made pond down there, and he had like little duck houses around.
Oh, cute.
And I got baptized in that pond.
Oh.
And
Elijah got baptized in our pond.
Yeah, pond baptism is a good one.
Just don't get an amoeba. Hold your nose.
But I remember like scooping up the mud off the bottom and covering myself in it, and then like washing it off and being like, that's basically what getting baptized is like. Like, all that, which kind of, that's the theologically not sound, because baptism is a outward expression of an inward change versus it changing you.
Yeah.
So, my idea of what baptism was a little different back when I was a kid. But that house, that log cabin house.
Why did they leave that place? It seemed like a great... did they just want to be... they need to be closer to your parents, maybe?
I don't know. Because from there, they went to the townhouse. And at that townhouse, we made snow cream.
I've never
Have
had
you made snow cream?
No.
That's a Nana special. When we were kids, if there was ever a good snow, we'd make snow cream. And Pop would go out and, like, typically get it off the car because that's where it was like the cleanest. I
just don't like milk, so like I've never been like, oh, let's go make snow cream, because I just imagine it being watered down milk.
No. Like she'd put like almond extract in it or something.
Oh well, if it has almond in it,
and like it would be like sweet. So she would.
It's more than just milk and
zhuzh it
snow.
up a little. Zhuzh.
Zhuzh.
She'd zhuzh it up a little bit and make the snow cream very nice. Yeah, that's a core memory. What about like winter memories? Do you have any good winter memories?
We went to the mountains a lot during the winter, so a lot of them are there. Like when Ben hit me in the face with the stick.
That was in the winter.
It was in the snow, and so like there was just blood
stick.
all in the snow. It was kind of cool. I remember that same winter we thought there was a bear, and so
it was just your dad buck naked running around in the woods.
And so we were like, let's set a trap for the bear so we can see it. And so we took like some lunch meat and
like turkey?
Yeah, like some turkey or something, or it might have been roast beef, because I think Mom got mad at us because she's like, that stuff's expensive, you can't take that out there. And we put it out on a rock thinking the bear would come get it, and it ended up just being a raccoon.
Well, if y'all were trying to set a trap,
So we could see it, not so we could
Oh,
catch it. We
okay.
just wanted to see it.
I was like, maybe if we put the lunch meat on the rock, the bear will eat the rock and die.
No.
That was like what I was
We
thinking.
wanted to see the bear, but yeah, it was a raccoon. But we were
big
up
raccoon.
there a lot during the winter. We would go sledding because it was the best hill for sledding. So that was really fun.
What kind of sleds did y'all have?
We had the flyer sleds that you drive with your feet, you know. So those are the
Your feet?
You can drive them with your feet
Yeah.
or
I
with the
guess so.
string, either one.
Did you ever go like seal style, penguin style?
I didn't like that very much. I felt like I didn't have.
Steer
It
with
was a
your arms?
scary place to be. I also don't love sledding as much anymore because like I almost killed my brother sledding one time. So
This sounds like a good childhood memory.
it was not a good childhood memory. We were sledding at my grandma's house and it was really icy. And
Which grandma?
Mimu's.
Where?
So like past her house, there's a hill. You know, the hill that goes down. So if you
Where the cars are parked?
no on the road. So instead of like turning right to go to her house, you keep straight.
Oh, down the road.
Yeah, down the road.
Oh.
And it was nighttime, and there were still cars parked in the street. So I had Silas with me, and
He's like how old at this
he was probably one.
like 1 or 2. Okay.
Um,
Yes, I've heard about continue.
Yeah, and I lost like ability to steer because I hit some ice, and we go straight for that van, and I had to like slide off the sled, kick him under the van all the way so that he wouldn't like hit his head on the bumper, and so I laid him flat out instead and like kind of threw him under there flat so that he wouldn't.
Chucked him under the van.
Yeah, instead of like hitting it head on. It was awful. So now I don't sled in the street anymore.
Yeah.
with cars around.
I've only sled in the street. Maybe you can quit tumbling that around if you want to.
It's because I'm burping.
I've only been sledding in the street like twice that I remember. The one time was a massive hill, and it was at some like church friend's house, I think. But the second time was a lot more recent when we were in West Jefferson, and I like hiked the flyer. Like, I don't know, I walked up the hill for like 30 minutes.
That was a good snow.
And bombed down it. But we would, when we did sledding and stuff, we used all sorts of crud. Like, we'd get those saucers every now and then. My dad one year made one out of plexiglass and PVC pipe, and that thing like flew. It was
no friction.
yeah, no friction at all. We had these ones that were we called them butt sleds, where it was basically like a shell that was like a diaper and it strapped to your butt, so you could just hike up the hill and then like
that's
sit
nice.
down and hold your legs up. And
Yeah.
yeah, those were pretty dope. Trying to the best sledding childhood moment ever was when we were at my grandpa's house in the mountains, and there was like a lot of family over. Like, my cousins were there and a couple of my uncles, and we took my grandpa's John boat and we hiked it up the side of the mountain, because basically like where he lives, a lot of the side of the mountain was cleared for cow grazing. And we went like almost up to the top, and all of us, like maybe like 5 adults and 6 kids, got in this John boat and just bombed down the hill, and stayed in a straight line pretty much. And
Sounds like a Kiker idea if I've ever heard one.
well, I mean, this is the green side.
They're just as crazy, I guess.
Hillbillies.
Those mountain people.
Yeah, they're mountain folk. Yeah, but we took the John boat and slid down the side of the mountain. It was pretty cool.
I always wanted to go ice skating when it got cold, but that was always the big no-no rule.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how thick you think it is. You cannot. Don't walk on the ice. Don't.
Did you ever try to walk on the ice?
Oh, yeah.
Did you actually succeed?
No. I'd never, trusted myself enough to put my full weight on it.
Did you never just try to like run on a quick spot?
No, because I listened to my parents.
There was a pond at that ranch style house I was talking about, and one year, the way it was shaped, it was kind of like, sort of like a banana, but like if it had diabetes and was chunkier in the middle. So there was two little like nipple ends just kind of hanging out, and that it was also where it was the most shallow. And so one time it froze over, and it got frozen just enough where like I could run, and it was breaking behind me, but I ran all the way across, and that was pretty cool.
I had to be content with just throwing rocks out there, waiting for the ice to break.
Throwing rocks on ice.
It makes a fun sound.
Is one of the best pastimes of all time.
Sound.
That's a good impression. That's pretty good. We oh frick! I lost what I was about to say.
I'm not surprised by that.
I found it. Do you have any good like getting hurt as a kid stories behind like breaking your nose? Which that was Ben's fault, but like something that you did to yourself that you got hurt in a moment.
I didn't really get hurt that much. I mean, I fell and hit my chin at the creek one time. I do remember that. And I had to like come back to the house and my dad super glued it.
Super glue and baking soda?
Super glue. That's all. He said it just needs some super glue. And so that's what he did. And that's when I found out that was like a revolutionary thing to me. I was like, you can super glue your skin back together. And we did it for everything. Like, yeah. I'm the only one of my brothers who's gotten stitches, and that was just the one time, and everybody else, we've all had the super glue. Ben on his noggin, Elijah on his noggin. I don't think Silas has had to have super glue yet.
He hasn't gotten beat up enough.
But on my chin, on my back, I jumped in the pond one time. Yeah. I don't know how it happened. I like landed on my back somehow, and there was a rock. And
I thought you said it was a cinder block.
Oh, it was a cinder block. Yeah, that for some reason there was all kinds of crap in there. But
you still have it.
I have a scar. Yeah, they super glued that up too.
How do you super glue a chunk? Like it's a chunk.
It wasn't that big.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, super glue to the rescue. Actually, it was, what was it called? Dermabond or whatever.
Dermabond?
It was the medical. They used the medical grade glue on me because I was the favorite. They used super glue on Ben because that's what they had. So,
Dermabond.
Ben's got the super glue on his head.
Patch your kids up good.
I think that was my fault too. I think I pushed him or something. He cracked his head open on something. You've seen that scar on his head, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's luckily. Let me knock on some wood over here. I've never gashed my head open.
Yeah, let's keep anything. It that way, please.
No
head traumas, as I like to say. So
this is a funny Sarah story. So I sliced my eyelid open, and the way I did that was I was drilling holes with a hole saw and some wood, and the wood piece that got stuck in there got stuck. And so I took the bit out and put it in a vise, and I was like, if I get a bigger drill bit in the screw gun and drill it in there and don't waller it out and just let friction hold it, I'll be able to yank this thing up out of there. And what happened was it just slipped out, and the drill bit was sharp, and it like cut like up my face and cut my eyelid. And I was like bleeding all over the place. And so I called Sarah to tell her what had happened, and because I sent you a picture or whatever, and she was like, what happened? I told you. And so I told you what happened, and she goes, I'm going to kill you.
Because you weren't wearing eye protection.
And I was like, this is exactly what I need right now, is trying to like ask what I need to do, and you were just like, I'm going to kill you.
You could have poked your eye out. You got to wear glasses.
And so, but I got...
Yeah, that was super glued.
I got super glue
Dad
from
super
your
glue.
dad. He put this stuff in there that is like glows in black light.
Oh yeah, the fluorescent.
And me and him were in a literal broom closet, smashed against each other, and he was like checking my eyeball out to see if I jacked anything else up, and then he super glued that bad boy together, and
All good.
we're all good.
Can
to
hardly
go.
tell it was there.
Super glue baking soda.
Not baking soda. That would be not good. I don't think either of us, knock on wood, is there some wood in here, have ever broken a bone though, which is surprising.
Nope.
I don't know how you have not done
I probably like micro fractured my finger recently because it still hurts a
that.
lot.
Micro fracture.
You know, like the martial arts like thing where they punch trees and they like make tiny little cracks in their knuckles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's probably what happened to my finger. But that's not like a break like.
Yeah, no. I've only had stitches one time. I don't think you've had any.
No. Oh yes, I've had one stitch
One stitch.
in the back of my leg when I stabbed it.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. I guess that counts.
Yep, one stitch, baby. So getting back on track with childhood memories, did y'all ever go to the mall?
My
Because-
grandma's... Well, actually, yes. My mom took us when we were little because they had the play area
Yes.
with the soft plastic
foam
foam
rubber
things.
stuff.
It was great. But now that I think about it, that is the most disgusting thing I could imagine taking my kids to.
When I was a kid, that was like
It's a cesspool.
the best thing. They had it like all the way up into probably 2012, 2011.
I don't know when they got rid of it, but
That's probably right after that's when they got rid of it. But before, like, whatever that material was that they made it
it
out
was
of,
so soft.
you could just dive head on into anything and just bounce off and you'd be all right.
We would go to the mall, we'd do that, and then we'd go to the cookie place.
Cookie place?
I can't remember the name of it, but they had a big sugar cookie with rainbow sprinkles, and it was my favorite. And that's what I would get. I would get a rainbow cookie.
Was it the place that
It's still
has
there.
like the pretzels and the other stuff?
I don't know. I really don't remember the name of it.
I saw a thing where, you know, the cinnamon rolls,
Oh
Cinnabon?
my god, I love Cinnabon.
Apparently, to get your cinnamon buns to be like almost exactly like theirs, is when you put your Cinnabons in a pan, you put it in a tight pan, and you put them where they're touching together, and then you pour heavy whipping cream over the top of them.
Yeah.
And then you bake them, and then it soaks it up, and that's why they get all like gooey and yummy.
Oh, yeah. I didn't start getting Cinnabon until I was older. We would always go to the cookie place.
Cinnabon just like permeates through the mall. It's just,
Oh yeah.
You could be like, who is it? Porky the Pig floating through the air.
And then once I was older, my grandmother took me to the mall. She just liked to take. We just go look around, and
Yeah.
she like would buy a thing for me, and usually we went to the Lindt store, and that was when I actually
Oh, like the chocolate?
I liked chocolate.
Yeah.
And she would always buy me.
You used to like chocolate?
I don't love chocolate.
I know
Like,
that, but you used to like chocolate?
I liked it enough to go to the Lindt store. We'd go there or Yankee Candle, but chocolate was cheaper than a candle, so.
Go in Bed
Bed Bath and Beyond.
No. Bath and Body Works and just like wash your hands with 1,000 different soaps.
Yeah.
And by the
I
end,
would
your
get-
hands are like all soggy.
I would
because
get
you
something
just-
from there too every once in a while. She would buy something for me. But Granny's the only one who took me to the mall.
When I was real little, we only went to the mall to like play on the foam rubber playground and to go to the food court. We would go and get a free sample and get the like food court food basically, and
We would go to Triangle Town. They had Chick-fil-A there.
mhm.
But that's the only reason why we go to that one.
Well, that one had a good like Chinese food buffet style.
Quote unquote good.
Well, I mean
American Chinese.
Yeah,
food.
American Chinese. What else did? Well, we went there a lot because like Sky got her ears pierced there. I'm pretty sure.
They used to have a splash pad there.
Yes, it was in the front.
Yeah, and it was just the
Those
geysers, and that was
squirties.
it. But it was there.
And then if you went up those steps up to the top, there was a Caribou Cafe up there.
I never went up there.
And the caribou eventually left a while after that. But yeah, the splash pad, that was like a big thing there. That's dried up and no more. Lost
Also,
to time.
dirty, germy.
Oh, we also used to go there to eat at the Twisted Fork. Do you remember the Twisted Fork?
We would never go there just to like eat.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was like iTex or something.
Well, that makes more sense. That was so far away for us, really.
But the Twisted Fork was like just bouge. At least to me, when I was a kid, I was like, this place is bougie.
It's like thinking the Cheesecake Factory is bougie.
Yeah, it's like on par with Cheesecake Factory,
Yeah.
like quality-wise. Which, like, Cheesecake Factory is, like, good, but it's kind of like freaking Costco in there in a way.
Oh my gosh, there's
It's
so many
just-
options.
It's so many options. There's so many people there. It's such a long wait. It's overstimulating. Yeah, it's a hard time at the Triangle.
I remember when Silas was born. He was born at Rex, and I got to spend the night after when he was born. And so Dad and I went to Cheesecake Factory and got a slice of cheesecake for me and him and Mom, and we took it back to the hospital. Just remember that. It was good.
Did you do a lot of baking when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know,
I think
my mom.
Yeah, well, I think that's one thing that's like definitely different between the both of us is we didn't really ever bake growing up. The only time we did like baking was at Nana's house during Christmas,
Oh no, yeah.
making keeflies.
Well, obviously cookies were a staple in the household. We made those a lot. Mom used to make wedding cakes, so there was that, and she did birthday cakes and stuff.
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake. As I got older, she did more pies and stuff. That was kind of later on, but she can make anything. So deliciousness.
Yeah, I wish we would have done more baking and stuff when I was a kid. The thing we were allowed to do is basically have free reign over the kitchen. So if we wanted to try to make something, we just could, and not have to worry about anything. And that's where some of my culinary prowess blossomed.
With your fancy ramen.
No, that came at basically like last year.
I know, but the foundation was set.
I guess so, yeah, the foundation was set. I swear to God, I thought I had invented
Eggs in a basket.
Eggs in a basket. Freaking, I was like, I'm such a genius cutting a hole in this bread and freaking cooking an egg in it. And I believed I made that up until like
5 years ago.
high school. And Ben was like, "No, yeah, that's the thing. That's good." I was like, "What?" I was like, "No, I make this. This is my creation." And he was like, "No, that's the thing."
How embarrassing for you.
How embarrassing. Yeah. Do you have any questions about my childhood?
No, I feel like you've told me a lot about it. There's not.
Anything let me
I told you you're going to have to ask the questions. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't think of things on the fly like that. I'm a planner.
Oh. Slumber parties.
Oh,
sleepovers.
you never got. Well, I guess you did.
I did.
Yeah. Stone Sisters, not so much, but yeah.
What were those like for you?
Oh, I loved I always had sleepovers for my birthday. So we would always go out to eat and then have Conky, duh.
Conky, duh.
Conky.
Is that the birthday place to go?
That's just where I went
Oh, okay.
every time. I always went to Conky with all my friends. Then we'd come home and do presents and, I think we did makeovers one time. When we had the Wii, we would play with the Wii. And then my mom let us do decorate your own cupcakes. That's fun. She just made plain cupcakes and then she had bought sprinkles.
Is that where you got your love for icing from? You would just pipe in the icing into your mouth?
It's like as much icing as I want.
Just
It's great.
twice the size of the cupcake part.
But yeah, we do that. And that usually, and then if it wasn't a birthday, I would usually have one person over at a time. But those are my neighbor or friends from school.
What was your go-to sleepover activity?
I don't know. We just played outside a lot, I guess. Or we would bake. We would make cookies or something like that.
Yeah. Where did you have like a core like one or two people that you do sleepovers with?
It like fluctuated. Like I had 2 friends from church that I used to have sleepovers with a lot. And then there was a girl in my neighborhood that was my friend that I used to go to her house a lot just to get away from my brothers because she was right up the road and she only had an older sister, so it was really quiet. And her dad made the best chocolate chip pancakes. So I would go to her house. We would watch music videos on YouTube. That's what we did.
That was the go-to?
Yeah, and we'd watch Nickelodeon.
Yeah. That was the thing for me was like sleepovers when I was a kid was mainly like just so I could watch Cartoon Network. Well, I say that like I didn't like my friend Cooper. Cooper was my like go-to sleepover buddy, best friend until he moved to Alaska, basically. But he had like he lived close to off of Capitol Boulevard. So I kind of like now realizing what we used to do as going to in the woods was probably very dangerous because basically in his neighborhood there was a creek that ran across the back and like so there's backyard and then went down into like a creek, and me and him would go down in the creek and just like adventure up and down the creek and just like end up in completely different neighborhoods and areas. And I mean, maybe the area was different back then, but probably not. But yeah, we would do that, and then we would get back to the house and like eat or something, and then we would play video games till late, and then we would wake up and watch Cartoon Network, and that was the go-to.
Cartoon Network. No, yeah, for me it was Nickelodeon. So I remember we watched, what was the name of that movie? It was some movie on Nickelodeon about vampires, and Brooke Shields was in it.
Who's Brooke Shields?
You wouldn't know. She's an actress. She has brown hair, and she's really pretty. She has brown eyes.
Brown eye girl.
She was also on Hannah Montana, but you wouldn't know that either.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't really watch Hannah Montana.
She was Hannah Montana's dead mom.
Dead mom?
Yeah. So she'd be in the flashbacks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a part of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is a big differentiating thing between our childhoods, is you were allowed to watch shows with quote-unquote real people in them.
Yes, like actual humans.
Like Hannah Montana or That's So Rachel.
I wasn't allowed to watch That's So Raven because she could see into the future.
I guess you couldn't watch Wizards of Waverly Place either. See, the only reason I know about those is because I would like sneak watch those at my grandma's house, or like Power Rangers. Like the only time I watched Power Rangers was at my grandma's house. But did you watch the George Lopez
No
show?
That was on late on Nickelodeon. I watched like iCarly on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Not Degrassi. Wasn't allowed to watch Degrassi.
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No. Degrassi was just like this TV show on Nickelodeon about like teenagers, about like their
putting ketchup on their feet or whatever.
No. It was like it was not appropriate for actual teenagers. What?
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The the Ariana
guy.
Grande.
Oh yeah, the guy who directed Victorious and iCarly and stuff.
Yeah, like made the girls like do like
weird
stuff with their feet on camera. Pretty
strange.
Pretty epic.
iCarly still cracks me up though. It's so funny.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Good.
But my favorite thing to watch when we were little was Boomerang because they had all the old cartoons on there, like the Flintstones and Pink Panther. The Wacky Races. Did you ever watch Wacky Races?
What kind of races?
It was like a car race.
Okay.
It was like characters from different Boomerang TV shows all on one show, and they would race their cars.
Huh.
It was really good.
I had a Game Boy Advanced game that was called Nickelodeon Block Party. or something like that. And it was like one of those things where it was like it had racing with the different characters and stuff on it. Yeah, old cartoons. I got into like those were like old-ish cartoons. I would watch like old cartoons when I was a kid, like the OG Felix the Cat, Popeye the Sailor Man.
I like Popeye. Yeah.
Woody the Woodpecker.
You watched a lot of Looney Tunes, I guess.
Not as much, because we would get those like 5 cartoon classic Dollar General special DVDs.
I knew you were gonna say Dollar General. Oh my gosh.
the Dollar General ones, and I still got some of them at the freaking house. But yeah, it just was loaded up with those.
Yeah, my grandpa had like all of the old Disney stuff, so he had all the old Donald Duck, Goofy shorts,
yeah.
Silly Symphonies. So we watched those a lot, and I still like to watch those. I remember my favorite one was it was a Silly Symphonies one, and it was about like this candy world, and there's like a competition and for like the best dessert or something like that. So they had the devil's food cake with their little forks, and then there was angel food cake. It was cute.
Classic.
I'll have to play it for you.
I didn't really watch those until, I mean, maybe until we got Disney Plus. Like, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like I might have
some
seen,
of them are on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I might have seen some of them like obscurely, but like Goofy goes skiing or whatever.
Like how to ski. Yeah,
how
I
to
love the
ski.
how-to, the
Yeah.
Goofy how-tos. Those are funny.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, but we watched a lot of old Disney movies growing up, just because that's what my grandpa had. So that's what we watch at my grandma's house.
Like,
Swiss Family Robinson.
oh, that's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the one where they like build the house in the trees, and then like some I almost said
Pirates.
Rastafarians.
No.
Which some Rastafarians could be pirates. What am I thinking of that starts with R?
Ruffians?
Yeah, ruffians. Ruffians show up and they like build a pit, and there's like a tiger. They put a tiger in a pit.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah.
It's a good one. I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, as far as like
And
classics,
we watched
like that go,
and oh shoot, what's the one that's canceled now with Uncle Remus?
Song of the South.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like we watched that growing up. You just wouldn't think about it. Watch that and Dear to My Heart. Dear to My Heart is the same actor, and that is sad movie.
Dear to My, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, that one.
What's Dear to My Heart about?
I can't remember. I just remember it was sad.
Oh, like Dumbo, like Dumbo's sad.
Oh, I love Dumbo. Dumbo is only sad in one part.
How can you not want to watch Up with me?
Because
and
Dumbo has
say Dumbo is not sad.
Because nobody dies in Dumbo.
You don't know that? I don't know. I haven't watched Dumbo in forever.
I do cry when I watch that one scene in Dumbo where she's like singing. It's like, baby mine, don't you cry.
Elephants.
Place your head close to my heart,
Yeah.
never to part. I love that song.
I watched
Dumbo's a good one.
like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang when I was a kid.
I didn't see that till I was older. I saw it on stage before I saw the movie, actually.
What?
Mm-hmm.
We watched a lot of Dick Van Dyke content. We watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. We watched freaking Mary Poppins. We even watched
everybody watched Mary Poppins.
the Dick Van Dyke Show. That's a good one. The cool thing about the Dick Van Dyke Show, have you ever watched the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No.
Oh, what did you ever?
I know what the premise is. I mean,
Yeah. So when they wrote the script, they had all the actors' lines written out, but then for Dick's lines, they would just have Dick's response typed up, and he would come up with the response on the fly for all the situations. It's pretty cool.
pretty good. I loved Mary Poppins too, obviously.
I'm Mary Poppins.
If you don't
y'all.
love Mary Poppins, there's something wrong with you.
A big old bag of stuff.
Big old bag. It's bigger on the inside.
She keeps pulling stuff out. It's like in the Puss in Boots movie.
Did you watch that without me?
Yes, you knew I watched that.
No, I
without you.
didn't.
Yes, I watched it with Ben and all his house people.
I didn't know that. Oh, was it the second one we were going to watch?
The newest one.
The newest one. You were supposed to watch that with me.
Well, listen.
Fired.
Things happen.
Fired.
I couldn't go against the flow when everybody else wanted to watch it.
That's when you leave.
What else was I going to do that night?
Sit at home with the cat.
No, I was staying with Ben that night at school. No, yeah, they have the Mary Poppins bag in it. And I guess I won't say anything else so it's not spoiled.
Can't believe you did that. How rude. No, but we watched Disney and musicals. And that was a lot of what we watched. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's a classic. Have you ever seen the one with Hugh Jackman?
I mean, you'd probably have to find like an illegal taping of it on YouTube because it was on.
No, there was like an official.
It was on
one.
Broadway. Oh, then no.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Hugh Jackman as Curly, it's classic. I'm trying to think what else. Childhood. What's another key childhood thing that happens that grows memories? Shrugs shoulders. Oh. Church. Do you have any good childhood church memories of any kind?
I mean, mostly. There was mostly good.
Is there like any interesting standing out?
I just remember for a long time it was a struggle because I always wanted to wear what I wanted to. My dad didn't want me to wear what I wanted to. And so it was just like a struggle to even get to church in the morning.
You're showing too much ankle, girl.
And we were just like pissed at each other for the rest of the day. So it didn't matter if church was good or not. It was just like, it started out bad. It was a bad day. But no, church was good. I remember, so like there was this one lady who she came in like every fourth Sunday for the kids, and she talked about missionaries. And so, but the only reason I liked it when she came is because she had snacks. So she would always bring really good snacks for whatever reason. I don't know why, but she would always bring the goodie snacks. Miss Belinda, that was her name. Belinda. But no, I went to one of those churches where you learned a lot of sign language for all the songs. And so we all were very well versed in sign language. Like I think I could still sign "Our God is an awesome God." That was a good one. We did that a lot.
When I saw people doing that, I thought they were just making up hand motions for the songs to go with it.
Some of them weren't like exact sign language, but a lot of it was.
I remember like Jesus.
That's Lord.
Lord, yeah.
But we would practice, and then they would have us perform big church, you know.
Church.
But no, we did like, you know, the Christmas recitals and stuff, and we had a really good Easter play for a long time. They stopped doing it. I don't know why. I guess that's not the thing to do anymore. Just like choirs aren't the thing anymore. Somebody just decided, this is dumb. We're going to stop.
Yeah, someone just decided.
Now we just have a photo booth.
Yeah, we have a photo booth, and we sing the same song lyric over and over again.
Photo booth. It's great. But no, this was like Vacation Bible School where you dressed up, and it was literally like, you know, you put the clothes on, and it was like from beginning to end, from start of Jesus's ministry to when he was resurrected. It was a very involved thing, and I thought it was pretty good. It had a song in it. Yeah. It was a musical. I had a little role in there every once in a while. It was a great time. I do remember that being fun.
We did an Easter play thing one time, and my dad was Jesus, and the months leading up to it, he got shredded because he wanted to be ripped Jesus.
Ripped Jesus.
My dad was swole Jesus, and he was up on the cross just like jacked, and getting whipped at the same time. Just.
I do wonder if that's why they stopped doing it, because it made people uncomfortable. But I mean, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When I was a kid, me and my sister would sneak into the snack closet. And
oh man, if I knew where the snack closet was, you bet I would have been there.
We'd be munching down on like Fig Newtons and Goldfish.
Sounds delicious.
Because the snack closet, for whatever reason, was one of the... Is it a Dutch door where it opens in the bottom and the top?
Mm-hmm.
And they would only lock the bottom. And so if you could open the top, you just have to jump over.
That's funny.
And I would climb up over there. And
they didn't think that one through.
Well, they didn't think a kid would hop over a door to get in there.
Yeah.
But I did.
Once I had to start going to youth group, I was like, this is dumb. I'm done. So.
Yeah, youth group's trash.
I checked out.
Youth group's trash.
Yes.
Youth
that's
group's
something
trash.
we concur about. There's a right way and a wrong way to do the youth group.
Today's podcast is brought to you and powered by two amazing local companies in Raleigh. Tell me a little bit about one of them, Matt.
Yeah, so Grateful Coffee Co. is a specialty coffee roaster in Raleigh. We source amazing coffees from all over the world, roast in small batches, deliver them directly to you, the consumer.
Yes!
So you always get the freshest coffee. We also partner with nonprofits in Guatemala, committed to doing good, investing in stories that actually matter. Your purchase can change the world. You can find out more online at grateful.coffee or on our socials at grateful.coffee.
Wow.
But today's episode is also brought to us by another amazing company. Stone, why don't you tell us about them?
That company is Oak Nut Workshop. Oak Nuts, also known as acorns. I don't know where I'm going with that, but Oak Nut Workshop is my craftsmanship company. I make cool stuff. This is literally the best way I can say it. I basically have a problem where I like to do everything. So whether you want custom furniture made, or custom leather goods made, or custom blacksmithed, all sorts of stuff, check out everything that I have made at Oak Nut Workshop on all social medias and things, or on my website at oaknutworkshop.com. You can find my email there. Hit me up if you have anything you want custom made, and we'll design the best thing to suit your needs.
I love it. Add out.
Add out.
I might come back if you ask me nicely.
Yeah. Did you enjoy your time on Blanky Time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
I
Blanky
feel like
Time?
if I was better prepared next time, you know.
You don't need to be prepared for your memories.
I still feel like I need an episode about dying. That's what I asked for.
Well, that'll be the next Sarah
Yes.
edition. We'll
Tune
be talking
back
about
in
death.
for death and dying.
Death and dying. Memento mori.
We're all going there.
Well, it's gonna happen.
Don't kill yourself to live longer. That's all I'm saying.
So did you learn anything? I feel like I even know you a little better now, knowing more.
I didn't know about the cat.
You
dying the cat, but I'm not surprised.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't know about that?
No.
Oh, well, now you do, baby.
Not surprised at all.
So, anyways.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
The podcast.
And remember.
Now we just have to get Aaron on the podcast.
Yes. And who is Aaron? That is to be divulged later at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
In an undisclosed location.
In an undisclosed location. But thank you for listening today. Thank you for listening today. Thanks to Americana Pipe Dream for this wonderful blankie.
This is the best blanket. It's so warm.
Best blankie ever.
Our cat loves it too. It's cat approved.
Cat approved. But don't forget, get yourself some blanky time. Go out. Maybe don't go out. Stay in. Light some candles.
Staying in is the best.
Have a blankie. Blankie with another person. That's compounded blankie action. Makes it better. And just chill out. Have a good time.
Chill out. Eat a moon pie.
Quit murdering people.
Quit murdering people.
All right. Blankie out.
Blanky out.
Out. Yeah.